Welcome everyone to week number 2 of our Biology 120 course. So let's see what we did last week and let's get going on what we've got to do this week. So last week we learned about the scientific method, which is the process by which science is done. I just saw it in action this morning. I opened my email messages and the Lancet, which is a medical healthcare science journal, has just retracted one of the articles that told the scientific community that hydroxychloroquine was an effective treatment or preventative for COVID-19. So that has been retracted. And what that means is that peers of the authors, the 4 authors, have determined that the science is not adequate to show their conclusion. 3 of the authors have also retracted their authorship, and so that leaves 1 author behind who will not reveal the data, who won't let anyone audit the data, and so the Lancet decided to retract that article. So that is science as it happens right in front of our eyes. That peer review process is terribly important, and when your peers show that your information is incorrect, they will call you on it, and that is what happened in the Lancet this week. So what else do you have going on this week? This week we're learning about inorganic and organic molecules. So inorganic molecules are like water and carbon dioxide. Organic molecules all have to include carbon and hydrogen. So if you say carbon dioxide, that's a carbon and 2 oxygens, you realize that there's no hydrogen there. It has to be an inorganic molecule. Organic molecules make up organisms. So the importance of water, it just cannot be overstated. It is there in cells for many reasons, but the very most important reason that water is in cells is so that the heat from all the chemistry that's going on in cells can be absorbed and the cell won't burn up. So that water is terribly important. It's also important because some molecules are dissolved in it. Molecules can move around in it. So there are lots of reasons that water is terribly important. Carbon is the basis of life, right? Anytime you see science fiction, they're always looking for carbon-based life forms, right? So the carbon atom is the backbone of all of the organic molecules. And why? Because it forms 4 bonds with other molecules. And so you can make very, very big, complex molecules based on carbon, because the other molecules can go out in all different directions from that 1 carbon atom. There are 4 groups of organic molecules: the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. So if you look at it, carbon and water, the basis of carbohydrates is CH2O in all different combinations. And these, of course, are important in structures in organisms, and energy, sugars, starches, glycogen. There are so many energy molecules that are carbohydrates, and you know that. The lipids then are hydrophobic. They include fats, oils, and waxes. They are terribly important as phospholipids that make on membranes that separate an organism from its outside environment as energy storage, etc. Proteins. Many proteins in organisms are enzymes, and enzymes are proteins that carry out work in cells. So the enzymes carry out all the biochemistry that's happening in cells, and these are almost all proteins. Proteins can also be structural, and a few can be hormones. Insulin is a protein, and it is a hormone. And then the nucleic acids. The nucleic acids are mainly genetic information in the form of RNA and DNA, but you also have some energy molecules that are nucleic acids, like ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So you're going to be studying about these organic molecules and the importance of them. All right, so what do you need to do this week? You need to read chapters 2 and 3 in your OpenStax textbook, which is absolutely free. Remember, I explained this in the beginning. You just do a search on OpenStax Biology 2nd edition 2E, and you will find that textbook, and you can read it for free. So read chapters 2 and 3. Read your chapter 2 overview in our course under the learning modules. By the way, here are some of my pictures. The one on the left is from Botany Bay Plantation. This particular area is called the Boneyard because there's so many dead trees out on the beach. Then we have a sunflower from one of the wildlife management areas. We have a couple of dolphins, and these are not pet dolphins, trick dolphins. These are dolphins in the wild just playing around right in front of me and my sister. And there is a baby alligator on the right. Okay, and then what else do you have going on this week? You have discussion board postings. You always will have your initial post that is due by Thursday night. And this week you have an assignment. There's something important that you need to discuss. And so they give you, in the course, we give you this equation, food plus water plus X, some X factor, equals life. And you have to figure out what you think that X would be and explain it for us. And then you're going to respond to 2 of your classmates on the necessity of nucleic acids in our diets by Sunday night at midnight. Okay, discussion board postings, you will have those every week except the last week in the course. So make sure you get these turned in on time. Then you have a journal entry, which I believe is between 350 and 400, maybe 500 words, on the properties of carbon. And I've started a discussion with you about that, the importance of carbon, and the link between fossil fuels and carbon dioxide and global warming, etc. You're going to write a whole paper on this. All right, and that's due by Sunday night. Watch your reliable sources video and read the web page that has to do with reliable sources. And this is to prepare you for next week because you will be doing research on your final project next week. So that brings us to item number 7 here in my list, and that is to be looking over the final project topics and choose one for yourself. Because you have a big project that you do in this course. You have 3 milestones that are due over the different weeks, 3, 4, and 5, I think. I'm trying to remember. But you have different parts of this project that you will do at a time and turn those in separately over these coming weeks. And then at the end, in week 7, you will have the actual final project due, which will be a presentation in the form of a PowerPoint presentation or something very similar to that. And you will have done a lot of research on your topic, and you will have determined things and the effects of this and ramifications, and oh, there's so much. So it's coming up, but you need to pick your final project topic this week. And if you don't see something on this list that you're particularly interested in, or if you have something in particular that you're really interested in, email me and I will approve it or not approve it. Hopefully I'll approve it. And then next week you can get started on the research for this topic. So here they are right here. Population ecology. So if you want to go work for DNR, Department of Natural Resources in your state, you would be interested in population ecology. How is this studied? How is the deer population in your state studied, for example? Or how do they determine how many bald eagles there are in the United States? Okay, those are just some examples of population ecology. Are you interested in air pollution, water pollution, the energy crisis and alternative sources of energy, solar, oh, there's so many, hydrogen, there's so many. Eutrophication, which is the aging out of bodies of water, and these are lakes and ponds and smaller bodies of water like that compared to the ocean. The ocean doesn't eutrophy at all, but lakes and ponds are really important, and they go through something called a eutrophication process. The human population, how is it changing? How is it projected to change in the very near future? That is very interesting. We do cover some of that at the end of the term, but that is very interesting. Genetic modification, okay, that's stuff that I love. So for example, a CRISPR enzyme system, and this is a way that we can change human genetics right now, modifying it any way that we want to because of a set of enzymes. So genetic modification of foods, genetic modification of animals that we use as foods. So there's a tremendous amount out there about genetic modification. Deforestation, terribly important in our country, but also in other countries. I mean, how much of the Amazon rainforest has been destroyed in the last 10 years? That's just mind-boggling how much has been destroyed and how we'll never get it back now. Biodiversity and endangered species, that's a topic close to my heart. Global warming, climate change, of course, that's in the news all the time. Waste management, terribly important. You've seen the videos, I bet, of these floating seas, floating masses of plastic that are out there in the ocean, off the coast of California, around the Philippines. They're everywhere. Or you can choose a topic of your choice. So if you do that, you have to get it approved beforehand. And if you will notice these topics that are listed here, they are big topics. You don't want to get anything really, 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 really specific because you're not going to find enough research out there on your topic, for one thing, and you just won't have enough to talk about in this final project if you narrow down your topic too far. And so that's one of the reasons that I need to approve this, because I will know whether there's enough out there for you to look at and use in order to produce an actual final project. So I hope that helps you with the final project. There it goes. So my tip of the week this week, I know I'm sitting in some trees right now, my picture, but the tip of the week this week is when you have an assignment, just take a little Post-it note or something like that and just jot down for yourself a little list of everything that you need to answer for that assignment, because you'll read it and you'll get going and you'll start writing, typing, and you may leave out something and that will get counted off against you. So make sure you jot down a list of things to answer for each assignment, and that will help make sure that you don't miss anything. All right, have a wonderful week. If you need me at all, there's my email address right down there, m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I will answer you as quickly as I can. I always answer within 24 hours, but sometimes within minutes. So email me if you need anything. I'm here for you every Sunday evening from 6 until about 6:50, 6 to 7 Eastern Time. If you want to talk to me face-to-face, if you need face-to-face instruction, help, whatever, we can do a meeting through WebEx other times during the week. We'll just have to make arrangements for that. But please let me know if you need any help, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, I'm here for you. And that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week.